What's good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, and the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I want to break down what's going on with the market before we open and talk about some very important things going on around the world, and also what's happening with the economic calendar. But before I break anything down about all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you're guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. Now, this offer ends in just 5 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market. So, looking at SPYs, things up about 0.12% during the pre-market, but the question is, will we be able to break some key resistance? That's going to be something to watch for as the day goes on. Now, when it comes to news affecting the market, it's very important to note that yields right now, they're still quite flat. They haven't really made a massive move just yet. I think they were down just like very early on, but now they're still like kind of coming back up. So they're very flat still. It's not really like a major move. So we're going to be watching to see what happens with the 10-year, what happens with the dollar and things like that. So it's going to be very interesting. We're going to see a big reaction today, and we'll see if this could help SPY either break resistance or not, alongside futures, alongside Tesla, and etc. Now, looking at what's happening with the border and Israel, there's a siege going on right now as they're trying to gain control over it, and things are becoming more serious over there as the attacks are happening on both sides still. So it's still going on, becoming more and more, it's becoming more important, more serious, and this is once again affecting more and more people. So it's worth noting. There's also this coming out right now. Pepsi's kicked off the new earnings season. They beat expectations and they raised their outlook for its full year earnings. So good for them. We're going to be watching for the big banks going into Friday. So it's going to be very telling. On top of all of this, there's actually nothing else that's too insane that's going on except for this. In Canada, we're actually seeing more strikes going on for now. We have about 18,000 Canadian workers once again now joining in. So the strikes are now continuing. This is now once again affecting the big three automakers. So a lot of things are going on right now. When it comes to our economic calendar, just wanted to mention that Bostic is going to be giving a speech when we open. 30 minutes after open or at 10 o'clock a.m., we have wholesale inventories data coming out. And then at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, we have the consumer inflationary expectations. So we could see some high volatility between 10 and 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. And besides that, we have some Fed speakers through the end of the day. So that's pretty much it for data and news. Now let's talk about some very important levels. So right now, guys, the yields are not really moving too much at the time I am recording this, okay? The dollar is only like down 0.1%. It is dropping a teeny tiny bit, but it's not like that insane. Now, we happen to have this head and shoulders on the 4-hour chart. We will see if this really leads the dollar to cooling off or not. We're going to be watching this support right here. We have some support on the dollar very close to this 106 area. We will see if the dollar breaks or not. So watch this very carefully. The direction the dollar moves will affect the market. And now the 10-year is actually starting to drop a little bit more. It was flat the last time I looked at it. Now it's actually dropping a bit. It's at 46.9. That's where the 10-year is, or 4.69%. That's what the yield rate would actually be. So with the bearish divergence, right, we were expecting this to cool off a little bit, which is bullish for the markets. If it keeps dropping down, it starts filling a lot of these gaps down in the 45s, that could become bullish for the stock market. As of right now, it's dropping a little bit, so this is starting to help the market turn green, but we have to see it hold and continue to sink down to help this market pump. Now, as a result of it dropping, we actually see SPYs a little green right now. Many stocks are kind of green. So you want to be watching 433 resistance on SPY. If we break this, watch 436.5. If that breaks, watch 438. If we end up failing to break 433, watch for a rejection. We're going to come right back down to 430 potentially. If that fails, this 428 is coming. So watch this test right now. So far, the yields are kind of down. So we could see the market attempt to break this, but we need to break resistance before we turn more bullish. So watch 433 very carefully. We will see if it breaks or not, if it's a break or rejection. If we manage to break some key resistance, we could see Tesla trying to get back above this 260 area. If we hold 260, we could turn bullish and try to push up for 263, then 265 above that. If we break 263, that's going to be very bullish. We're still stuck in this channel. You guys can see that Tesla has this channel right over here, and it just continues to go back and forth and back and forth. between these very, very key levels. Now, if you look at the 5-minute time frame, that's why I pulled up these levels. You want to be watching very, very carefully how Tesla reacts to every single one of these levels. If we break below this 257 support, we're going to come all the way down to 255. Even there's some support at 254. And then below that, we have 252.5 and then 250. So these are some like very, very key levels to be watching for as time goes on. And it's going to be very important that you're careful with Tesla because these levels are going to be very key for today. And it's going to be, dictated with the market. So if the market rejects, Tesla will likely follow or vice versa. Now, as far as Aapl goes, I just wanted to mention that Aapl on the 4-hour time frame is currently looking kind of flat right now. It's very flat. It hit this resistance we were talking about yesterday. We had this 179.68 resistance, which is very close to where Aapl rejected. If Aapl rejects off and starts cooling off, this could have slowed the market down a little bit. So be a little careful when looking at it. And you want to be watching that 200 EMA on Aapl. If Aapl ends up breaking below 177.5, it starts thinking towards the 176s. If it bounces off this, we could get a push back to 180. We're going to be watching this very carefully. That's going to dictate which way the market ends up moving. So it's very important to watch this. That's going to be very key, especially going into today. For the QQQ, if you're bullish, you want to see this thing break above 368. If it breaks 368, we're going to be looking for a push towards 370. If you're bearish, you want to see it break below 365. So watch that support carefully. If 365 breaks, it's going to come down to 362.5. Nvda is also very flat right now, completely flat. If you're bullish, you want to see it break 457. If that breaks, I could see this thing pushing for 461 to 463. If you're bearish, you want to see it break below 450. If that fails, let's watch 448, 446, 442, and then 442, and then 440 below that. So just watch these levels carefully on Nvda. We're going to be watching to see if the dollar continues to sink because the dollar is looking a little weaker. So it's looking like it's favoring the bulls for the stock market for now. And last but not least, the 10-year treasury yield is going to be key. And we'll see if this keeps dropping or not. That is also going to be key for us. And we will see how things go. All right. So watch resistance. Can we break? The answer is it is possible, but we need to see the dollar and remain low, and same thing with the 10-year treasury yield. I need to see the market get some more buyers in order for that to happen. So far, it hasn't happened, so we will see what happens. Things can really, really change. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening. Hopefully, this video was very helpful. I know that the current situation is very, very difficult for a lot of people. I understand. I totally understand what a lot of people are going through. I understand what's happening around the world, and all I can really say is that I have a lot of empathy and sympathy for the people out there. Please take care of yourselves amidst these hard times and do what you have to do what's best for your own families. Thank you. The market to the moon because the long term is still very bright, and peace out.